Hey everyone, welcome to the Captain Drone YouTube channel. This is the Hummingbird V3 by Newbeedrone. My name is Steve. I am a drone pilot. I'm going to tell you all about this, but I'm going to tell you something more important than this. Did you buy yourself one of these? The AQUILA16 or the WHOOPFLY16? Well, if you did, if you bought either of these, well, guess what? If you get this drone, it works with these kits. So check this out. So in this video, I'm actually going to show you how to take these kits that you may have bought and bind this drone to the kit. It's very simple, but if you're a newbie, I'll have to show you how to do it. Now, before we get to that, I want to talk about the Hummingbird V3, and I'm going to show you some footage of it flying in this video, and you're probably going to want to buy it after you see this because it's only $89. So what is this tiny little quad exactly? Well, it's a 1S FPV Tiny Whoop indoor-outdoor racer. And because it's a racer, it doesn't have a super long range. It probably has long enough range for you, but not for somebody who wants to fly miles and miles away. It only has a 25 milliwatt VTX, which means it's not going to take a lot of power out of your 1S battery. Now, it does remind me of a little Christmas ornament, because when you power it on, it's very glowy. You can see all the little glowy lights here. I'll put my hand behind it. Maybe you can't see it. Put my little sweater behind it. There you go. It just glows. And it glows like that when it's flying around multicolored. And speaking of colors, mine is sort of a teal green, but it comes in many different colors. So when you order one, you can get it in many different colors. The cool thing is, since it's from Newbeedrone, they have this really neat thing they've been doing if you're not familiar with Newbeedrone, and that is, if you happen to break your frame, like crack it or damage it, the frame, they'll replace it for free. So this is not a cheapy drone, by the way, either. It's got brushless motors, 25,000 kV, very powerful, 3-bladed props. It's actually fully compatible with BETAFLIGHT configurator, which is why I can connect it to these type of kits. And of course, it's so tiny, it's under 250 grams, and it flies like a dream. Here, watch this. Here's some indoor flight and some outdoor flight. Check it out. All right, time for an indoor flight of this little guy. I do have a bright light shining up on me because it's very dark in here, because it's very dark outside. It just snowed. We're going to fly with my Fat Shark analog goggles. I'm going to record the video inside, so it's not going to look that good, but at least you're going to see what I see when I'm flying. And I'm going to fly this using my ELRS Zorro by Radio Master controller. So here we go. Please note, this will be a maiden flight for me. So let's just plop this down here, plug in my Fat Sharks, and we'll be ready to go. All right, so you should see the image that I see in my Fat Sharks. So let's just arm it. Here we go. This thing's pretty fast for a little 1S. There we go. I got it under control. I have a camera right here that should catch it. And let's go around. I have another camera in this room as well. That should catch it. The camera's right over here by the window. Let's go through here. You know what we have to do? Of course, we have to try to go through things. So let's go this way. We're going to fly a little lower. And let's go this way. Okay. Let's make it a little bit more challenging now. Let's fly through things, under things. So I'll keep it a little lower. Go through here. Come up. So let's come on back to me. Go over here and we'll land it up someplace in front of me on the table. Right over here. There we go. Okay. So let me open this patio door and we'll go fly outside. Okay, I got our little guy here. I'm going to shoot it this way, wrap around, come out, and go right outside. Oh crap, it looks like it's raining. Raining and snowing, but you'll see it. Watch this. All right, here we go. So go around this way, slow it down a little bit there, spin it around, don't get too excited, there I am, you're going to come past me, not hit the lights on the ceiling, so let's go nice and slow, as it goes right for the lights on the ceiling, but there we are. See what I mean? Now this is only 25 milliwatts, so 25 milliwatts is not a powerful video signal, but however, you can still see that my image is clear while I'm outdoors here. It's a very miserable winter day outside. I don't want to hit the snow. Let's go both sides of my yard over here. Come on over here. Whoa. All right, let's go look at what the snow is like up top. There we are. There's the world. All right, coming down without hitting the trees. Slow down before we hit the snow. And then, before we hit the branches, oh no, I hit the snow. I gotta put boots on. Got the boots, gotta go outside. All right, now I gotta find it. Where the heck did it land? It's raining out here, so this is kind of wet. Okay, let's go look over here. Got the boots on. Look for a hole in the ground. Ooh, I see a hole over there. Right over there, do you see it? Right over here, and it's still glowing like a Christmas light. There it is. All right. You gotta come up with me. All right. So I think it's still flyable. Get rid of that snow. Oh yeah. No damage whatsoever. Okay, Let's bring this guy back and we'll launch it right here and we'll fly in the house. Put it down here, right there. Okay, your goal is to fly indoors through this door. All right, here we go. Arm. Coming through the door. I see low battery on my screen. Missed the door. Come by me. We'll whip it around and we're going to come land it over here. And there I am. Coming down over here. There we are! Ta-da! The flight. Indoor, outdoor. All right, you're back to me. I've got a camera set up. I have my laptop set up so I can show you how to bind this little quad to one of these kits or both of these kits. I'll show you that here. But before I do that, let me show you what you get in the box when you buy this. So check this out, then come back to me. This is the box your Hummingbird V3 comes in. The drone is constructed entirely of plastic, but for such a small drone, it's constructed very well. For the price, the brushless race motors are actually pretty good. Even the camera for the price is pretty good. It is analog VTX, shoots out at 25 milliwatts. It does have a modern day F4 flight controller and ELRS SPI. The total weight of the drone with a battery is only 31 grams. For accessories, you do receive a spare set of props, and that's about it. You do not get batteries or a battery charger, but you can buy them off the website. I'll put a link to the batteries and a battery charger below this video. All right, so you're back to me. I'm going to show you how to bind this quad to one of these kits. Let's start off with the WHOOPFLY16 ready to fly combos. So what you're going to need is a computer, and on that computer you have to install BETAFLIGHT configurator. I'm sure you can find it. It's not hard to find. You're also going to need a USB cable, and it's the old type of cable. I don't know what they call it, but I'll show you the bottom of the quad because it has to fit into the bottom of the quad. So if that focused right up here, that's what the connector looks like. So I take this USB cable, I stick it in the bottom of the quad. There it is. Ignore the sound effects. Take the other end, put it in your PC, your Mac, whatever. Let me find a port on mine that's open over on this side. Once you plug it in, you'll hear some noise and the power goes through the cable into your little quad, and your quad is now lit up as if it had a battery in it because it's only a 1S quad, so it doesn't take a lot of power to operate. So if I put it level, it should go level, and you know, sideways, sideways, there we go. We're all set. So we're ready to go. Next thing, if you look at the side of your screen, go all the way down till you see a little item called receiver. That's a tab. Go down and click on receiver. There we are, receiver. There we are. And then move your screen up a little bit. Down here, these are the movements of your joysticks. So these bars will move in conjunction with the joysticks on your remote. And over here, look what you have. Bind, receiver, and refresh. These two buttons are very important. So now since we're starting with the WHOOPFLY16, we just take the remote and do not power it on. But in the FPV hobby, nothing works in the FPV hobby unless you have that left joystick all the way down to the bottom. So all the way down to the bottom means you can do stuff on the remote. If you have it in the center, like on a DJI drone, nothing will ever work. Always to the bottom. Take your switches, push them all the way away from you, just like you would normally do. If you look at the back of the remote, you have something that's called bind right here. There's a little bind button right up there if it's focusing, so that's your bind button. So what you're going to do is you're basically just going to take the bind button, click it in. You should hear a click. There we go. And then power on the remote at the same time. Watch what happens. It's going to go into bind mode. There we are. This should be flashing like crazy and it will stay in bind mode. And then on your screen, you just click on bind receiver, bind. So this should be now connected to this. We just bound them together. Hit your little refresh on your screen. And now to make sure you are bound, let me just move my screen up again. So as you see, I move my joysticks, everything works. So that's how simple it is to bind. If it doesn't work for you, it means you did something wrong. So usually the mistake a lot of people make is they have their left joystick up like this, has to be all the way down. Make sure your switches are away from you, and make sure when you hold that bind button in, you don't let go of the bind button. Even after it powers on, you'll see the light flashing. You want that red light to flash. If that doesn't happen, then you're not in bind mode. Got it? Now in BETAFLIGHT configurator, that's also where you set up the switches on your remote because it has no idea what remote you have and what the switches are supposed to do. If you got used to the switches, the way they work in WHOOP16, you can set them up the same way in here. It's very simple. I'm not going to go through a long process, but I'll just show you. If you go to the modes tab, go over to modes. These are your switches. So the first one, arm. On my WHOOPFLY, I think it was this switch was arm. So as long as you see a little yellow dot move from one spot to underneath the big bar, your arm is correct. There we go. If it's not correct, then what you have to do is, I'm only going to say this once, don't goof it up, is you have to go over here where it says aux1 and you have to change that to auto and then flick the switch. Here, I'll show you, I'll do it. So I go here, aux1, I go auto, and then I flick the switch, flick the proper switch. There we go. And what it does is it detects the movement in your remote and it will adjust the auxiliary function switch to where it should be. And now it's correct. So down here you have angle and horizon mode. You can flick your switches and see which one does what. So on mine, I've already noticed that angle mode is set to aux3, which is this switch over here. So there we go. See how they all change colors and stuff like that? If you want to change them to different switches, change it to auto, flick the switch, and there you go. I don't want to confuse you, but I'll do it this way. Okay, so in angle mode, I'm going to go and put this on auto, like that. And then I'm going to say I want this switch to be angle mode. So I'm going to go angle mode, I want it to be all the way up. So push it all the way up. There we go. It changed to aux2, but now I have to look at where the yellow thing is. See that little yellow thing? There we go. So since the little yellow tab here moves all the way to under that, when I push it all the way up, that is correct. So that would mean that is angle. Down here, horizon, the tab is over here. So I would have to get the little yellow dot under horizon. See, it says aux2. So I want to change that to aux2 as well. Let me just go like this because it's on the same switch. It's just a different position. So if I move this up so you can see it. So there we go. There's angle right there. I'll switch all the way up. And when I move the switch down, there we are. We're in horizon. So it's under there. Right here, the little tab is under nothing, so it means it does nothing. Always has to be under a yellow bar. So all the way up is angle, to the middle is there, and when I put an acro all the way down, it's under nothing. So that means every drone that you buy on the market is automatically in acro mode. The day you buy it, it's in acro mode. When you set up these switches, it's to take it out of acro mode. So basically, when the switch is doing nothing, that means it's in acro mode. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Now, the biggest mistake a lot of people make too is there's this little thing down here called the save button. So I'll save that. And the same is on my receiver. Did I save it? I probably didn't, but let's just make sure we're still connected. I know we are because my joysticks move. So on the bottom of the receiver tab down here, I'm going to hit save as well. There we are. And then disconnect. And we're all set. Unplug. Boink. I stick a battery in to test it out. So let me plug in a battery here. There we go. She's all set to go. I'll stick it in my hand. Make sure your left joystick's all the way down before you hit this arm switch or else it won't arm. There we go. So we can arm, we can fly. I can't do it with, unless I fly with my mouth. But anyways, it's right there. She wants to go. So it's all set. And yeah, we can fly our little drone with this kit. So let me unplug the battery and I'll show you how to do it with the, what's the next kit? The AQUILA16. So let me get rid of this one. Let's plug it in. Comes to life, pretty lights, shows up on my screen in BETAFLIGHT configurator, and we're going to do the same thing. We go down to the receiver tab. There we are. Move that up a little bit. So for BETAFPV, they use a different process for binding. They do on the back have a little bind button and setup button, but they use it differently. You don't have to hold the button in and power on at the same time. I'll show you. Just power on your remote. Get a little blue light. Come on, blue light. Where's my blue light? Oh, my joystick's not down. There we go. Blue light. That's all you want. So it's pretty simple. Now you just take something pointy that you can push in that bind button and it will put the remote into bind mode. So watch this. I'm going to push, I have a little screw here. I'm going to push it in the bind button and I just want to show you the colors in the front. So I'll push this. We'll go into bind mode. Did I get it? There we are. Flashing red. And then you go on your screen and you click on bind receiver. Where are you, bind receiver? Hit refresh. There we are. And then we come up and if I move these little joysticks, there we are. Same idea. So everything should work. Once again, if I try to think of things why it won't work for you, it's because you did it wrong. I love saying that because so many people say it doesn't work. I do everything. And I always have to come back and say because you did it wrong. So if you do it correctly, it will work. Possible things that could go wrong. You held in the bind button. On this one, you don't. You just poke it in really fast and make sure you get that flashing red light. And you don't have all day to do it. So try it multiple times, just poke, and it should work. You should be okay. Just make sure that left joystick is down. And just to show you it works. And it's the same idea as the other remote. You can go to the, I'm just going to hit save over here. On the other one, if you go to the modes tab, I'm not going to go through it again, but there we go. Let's see if my arm switch is correct. What's it got for auxiliary 2 here? So if I go to angle mode, yeah. Oh, no, it's got it. So angle mode's good. Yeah, so it's showing that this switch works with angle mode. All right, so anyways, we're just going to leave it like that. I'm going to disconnect and I'm going to show you it works here. So I unplug this. plug a battery in. There we go. I'll stick you right here and I'll fly it right off that. So arm it. There we go. And this thing's got a lot of power. Gotta bring it down in front of my camera. There we are. And disarm it and catch it. All right. So that's it. Life is good. So if you have either of these kits, you might want to pick up this baby. I think it's a good deal for 89 bucks. However, it's going to cost you a bit more than that. Let me explain. You see, those kits use different batteries than this drone uses. And I highly suggest you buy the proper batteries for this drone. They are sold on the Newbeedrone website, and if I grab my phone, I'll tell you how much they cost. So these are the batteries you want, unless you have the type of connector required, which looks like this. I'll try to bring it close. Right there, see that type of battery connector? If you have those at home, you're all set. If you don't have them at home, you might want to get 4 because they come 4 in a box, and it costs $24.99 US for 4 of these. I highly suggest you get them because the flight time on this guy, for me flying around, average is 3 to 4 minutes of flight time. Now you're also going to have to charge these batteries, so you're going to have to spend a little bit more money, and you're going to have to get a 4-port charger for these batteries. So a 4-port USB charger, according to my phone, is $14.99 US. Everything is available on the Newbeedrone site, so go check it out. So my final thoughts are, if you have one of these kits, which are super popular, and I'll put my link to my video reviews of these kits, they're all in one. You get everything in the FPV hobby. If you have one, and then you want to pick up another drone that works with them, well, this is the one to get. Now, a lot of you are going to ask me about other FPV kits, if this works with other FPV kits. I don't know, because I haven't tried it. All I can say is this has an ELRS receiver in it, and the receiver is at version 3.x, whatever it might be. That means you have to have a transmitter. See this radio or this one down there? Also has to be version 3. So these two they're very modern, so that's why they work with this. If you have something like that at home, a kit, or a remote or a radio, whatever you want to call it, transmitter, and it's version 3 ELRS, it will also work with this, and you can bind it exactly the same way I just showed you in this video. That's simple. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you have questions on this product or anything I showed here, post your question below. If you enjoyed this product and this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you in future reviews with many more product reviews. And all the links to everything I talked about in this video, everything's below this video. So anyways, go check it out. For now, I say bye.